Right, this is a video to show you how to take out an injector. This particular one is a Volvo D5. I've cheated a bit because I've loosened off all the unions and everything, but it's a pretty simple procedure. You're going to need a 15mm spanner for the fuel rail pipe, and you're going to need a 13mm spanner to hold this bolt in place whilst you're undoing the fuel rail pipe, because it's held on quite tightly, so you don't want to be spinning this bolt here. You need to disconnect the return pipe by removing one of these clips, removing the clip, popping the pipe off, and you also need to disconnect the injector. This is the electrical connection for the injector. As a precaution, I would also make sure the engine's warm before you do it. Run the car for about 10 minutes so the engine block's nice and warm. That helps ease removal. And I would also disconnect the battery from the car. So you run the car for about 10 minutes, get it nice and warm, and leave it for 10 minutes before disconnecting the battery, disconnecting the negative lead from the battery. Then when you take out the injector, there's actually two bolts securing it to the engine block. On this particular one, they're Torx bolts, so they have a head like this, but it's just down there. There's two, one on either side. You undo the fuel rail. Like I say, I've already slackened this off, it'll be tighter than this. To disconnect the plug here, there's a little clip just there that you have to lift up, and then the plug pulls out like that. Okay. If there's loads of grit and grime around the injector, so like on some of the others there's quite heavy grease and stuff, you'll need products like degreaser to spray around the area. It turns all the muck into quite a thin liquid which you can then mop up. You'll also need carburetor cleaner for cleaning the injector port. You may also need a bit of WD-40 if some of the bolts are tight. So once all your connections are undone, fuel rail, two bolts securing the injector, fuel return pipe out, and the electrical connection here, the injector should hopefully just lift out. Okay, I'll just put that there. Just take out the clamps. Right, now normally when you take the injector out, you just put this clamp back on. The clamp will actually be held on by a collar there, a metal collar, and there'll also be a circlip, a thin wire clip which holds everything in place there. Okay, so all of this will be one unit when it removes. Inside the injector port, in fact there's the collar just there. So it will have the clamp, collar, and then a circlip just there. That's how it will be, okay, when you take the injector out. Then in the injector port, like I say, if there's still muck and grease and grime and everything, what you need to do is clean the area around the port first. So you just put a rag inside the port first of all, and that enables you to clean the area all around without any additional dirt falling back into the port. Once the area is clean around the injector, you then can remove the rag from the port, and using a screwdriver with rags wrapped around it, you make yourself a cleaning tool that roughly mirrors the shape of the injector at the end there. and you spray this with carburetor cleaner all on the outside, get it nice and wet but not absolutely dripping, and then you put it down inside the port, give it a good old twist around, and you may need to do this 2 or 3 times to get the port absolutely spotless. I've already done this port before, and you can see it's nice and clean. The silver ring down at the bottom is where the hole is where the injector tip goes down inside, and the silver ring around that hole needs to be absolutely spotless with no dirt on it whatsoever, because the injector needs to make a good contact. There'll be a copper seal on the end of the injector, and that needs to make perfect contact down inside the injector port. So anyway, that's how you remove an injector. And then what I'm going to do is be fitting a used one which I've purchased, which is supposed to be in good working order. So I'll show you how to refit one, and then after that I'll also be doing a video to show you how to do a leak test to make sure your injectors are working absolutely fine. Thanks for watching.